Welcome back to Space Thoughts. Just a thought on some messaging that I've seen over the past couple of months, or actually it's been going on for a while, and that's the idea that we're in a space race with the People's Republic of China to get back to the moon. And I saw this recently with a congressman who was basically talking about outer space and the fact that we're in a space race, and of course, the media is very prolific in saying we're in a space race to get, with the PRC or the Russian Federation or what have you to get back to the moon. I, words are important. In my professions, words are extremely important. Hey, heck, in my world, where the punctuation is extremely important. But in this case, the words space race or the term space race really is misleading, and really it's bad messaging. And for example, and my big beef with this is the fact that we were in a space race once, and that was back during the Cold War, and we had the Apollo program, and we quote beat the Soviets to the moon. But after that space race, after we won it, what did we do? Well, we got tired of it. We decided we didn't want to spend any more money on it. The public was tired of it. And we basically scrapped the program instead of continuing to move forward and create a presence on the moon and pushing further out into the solar system. So really what we did, we came back to Earth orbit with Skylab, and we've been there ever since. I mean, we still do the unmanned probes that go out and explore different planets and such, but we haven't ventured with humans beyond Earth orbit for over 50 years now. And I think a lot of this is due to the fact that we were in a space race and we were under the impression we won the space race. So the idea with the space race is there is a beginning of the race, and then there is an end point where you win the race. And during the Apollo program, during the Cold War, we found that we won the race and we didn't have to race any further. Race won, what's the need to go any further than that? So I think we're in the same conundrum here. Basically, we have this idea that we are in a space race with the PRC to get back to basically, expand our presence in outer space and get back to the moon and such. So here's the problem. If say we're in a space race and we do beat the PRC back to the moon and we get humans back on there before they have a chance to uh, gain a human presence on the moon, what question is what happens then? Have we won the space race against the PRC, and what are we going to do? Are we going to just basically pack up our bags and chuck all the hardware that we've invested in and just say, you know what, that was fun, we did it. Now there's no further need because A, we want to spend the money elsewhere, or B, the public's getting bored with it. Now, non-governmental space, commercial space throws a different dynamic into this and it adds a different facet to this whole idea because there are ideas to go in, actually, go on the moon and exploit the resources. The idea of space resources, that didn't happen during the Apollo program. But if we are going to coin this as a race, if politicians and even our agency leads like NASA continue to coin this as a space race, or even the media, we're going to get into a race mentality. In other words, there's a beginning and there's an end. So what do we do then? What are we going to call this? And again, it's semantics. It's all semantics, but again, in terms of messaging, it does have an effect. And like I said, in my profession, messaging is important. The words you use, how you use them, and even the punctuation marks are important. It could basically win or lose a case, or win or lose a battle within litigation. So this whole idea of space race is just a bad idea. So let's try a new term, space rush. And where did I get that? Well, back in the 1800s, we had what we call the gold rush. And I know I'm, again, analogizing outer space to terrestrial domains, and I'm one who hates to lament it. But I think in this case, for a political messaging, for media messaging, to really set the stage for what we need to do, there needs to be a new term. And I think the term rush, or the analogy of space rush, puts that in, because it isn't a race. It's a matter of, yes, we got to get back to the moon. We got to establish human presence. We got to create norms and rules for how the moon or other celestial bodies or space is going to be exploited. But we also know that's not the end all of everything once we get back there. In other words, it's really just when we get back there, it's really just the beginning of development. So the idea of space rush basically says there's a starting point, but once we get there, it isn't the end. It's really just the beginning, and we got a whole other canopy of activities that we can develop and to use to exploit outer space and develop outer space and push further into the solar system. So the idea of space rush versus space race is, I think, more cognizant. It's more continuous. It's more, you know what, there really is an end. It's a matter of there is it's a continuous thing. There's continuity to it as opposed to space race. So fundamentally, my point in this very short video is let's get away from space race. We had the space race during the Cold War. The U.S. won it. I know a lot of people are critical of Apollo and Apolloism. Apollo served its purpose at the time. There was a definite political need for it at the time, and it did its job. Yeah, we basically threw it away, but that's because it wasn't sustainable. And but that's done and gone. That's in the past. Let's not make the same mistake now by coining this new venture as a race. Let's coin it as a space rush. And that is going to get into the idea of sustainability from an economic standpoint. It's going to be an incentive to continue to push on beyond the political, and it's going to actually give us a chance to actually develop the moon, develop the celestial bodies, explore out, push out and push humans out further into the solar system, and make the human race truly spacefaring, in my opinion. So that's what I have for you this morning. I hope we're near the end of summer, and of course, if you're in the southern hemisphere, you're near the end of winter. So again, thank you for subscribing to this. Like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you next time.